The most powerful race on Earth isn't being fought with missiles or armies. It's being fought with code, chips, and electricity. China and the United States are locked in a silent, trillion-dollar arms race, not for land, but for artificial intelligence supremacy. Whoever wins this race won't just lead the economy, they'll shape the future. From warfare to finance, from your smartphone to the global internet itself. But here's the twist. The winner might not be who you think. When it comes to power, China isn't running out. It's overflowing with it. AI is a new nuclear weapon. Whoever controls it controls the next century. It's what runs our stock markets, our defense systems, and our digital everyday lives. For decades, the US dominated every tech frontier, the internet, smartphones, social media. But now, China's catching up faster than anyone expected, determined not to follow Silicon Valley, but to replace it. China's biggest advantage? Scale. 1.4 billion people means oceans of data, enough to feed every algorithm from facial recognition to autonomous cars. But the real secret weapon is electricity. While US tech firms are struggling to find enough grid capacity to feed AI data centers, China is sitting on an energy surplus. In fact, according to energy analysts, some Chinese provinces have 80 to 100% power reserves, giving them far more headroom for industrial growth and AI computing than the US currently has. Over the last decade, China has quietly built the largest power generation network on Earth, from coal to solar, from hydro to nuclear. They're not wondering if they can run the world's next AI models. They're wondering how many they can run at once. Meanwhile, the government has gone all in, offering subsidized electricity for AI hubs and data centers, ensuring that energy won't be the bottleneck that slows their progress. So while America worries about power-hungry GPUs, China is literally powering up for dominance. But don't count America out yet. If China has more energy, the US definitely has more intelligence in silicon form. Companies like NVIDIA, AMD, Intel still produce the world's most advanced AI chips, and Washington knows it. That's why export bans on top-tier GPUs like NVIDIA's A100 and H100 have become a digital blockade. It's a modern tech Cold War. Instead of tanks, it's transistors. Instead of bullets, it's bandwidth. The United States also holds a huge advantage in innovation culture and private investments. Startups like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Cohere are driving the frontier of large language models, often months or years ahead of China's in sophistication. But here's a growing challenge. America's electric grid was not built for an AI future. Tech giants like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are now buying their own power plants just to keep up with the demand, a sign that energy is fast becoming the new currency of computing. And here's a little table here to just show the comparison between the US and China. Chips and hardware, the United States dominates China. China is very dependent on imports and developing their own. Energy supply, the US has a tightening grid capacity. AI research, the United States is always going to be a global innovation leader, and China is just rapidly scaling the applied AI, artificial intelligence technology that's already out there. Okay, government support. The US is very market driven, while China has a centrally coordinated national strategy. Implementation, the US is corporate led, while China is government plus industry integration. And there's pros and cons to each side of these things. So the US still leads in innovation, but China's infrastructure advantage, especially in electricity and scale, is closing the gap faster than many realize. The AI race isn't just about who has the best engineers. It's about who can run the most compute for the least amount of cost. Each new AI model, from GPT-5 to China's Ernie 4.0, requires exponentially more electricity and computing power than the last. If China can supply the power supply, they gain a compounding advantage. More data processed, more models trained, more real-world applications deployed. The US, meanwhile, is racing to modernize its grid, but faces rising energy costs, regulatory hurdles, and environmental bottlenecks. If that imbalance continues, America's innovation lead could be limited by something as simple as the lights staying on. We're entering a new kind of Cold War, one that's fought in data centers instead of deserts. The winner won't just control technology, they'll control the flow of global intelligence. China's abundance of power and centralized strategy give it a clear scaling edge, but America's culture of innovation and dominance in chips still make it the frontier. But make no mistake, both are running at full speed toward a future where AI isn't just a tool, it's the foundation of global power. This is NextShift AI, where we decode the race that's shaping tomorrow's world. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications, because the future isn't coming, it's already training.